just start by giving our little screen or presentation of who ADRA Timor-Leste is. ADRA Timor-Leste, ADRA East Timor, same place, our local name. Timor-Leste, it's a Portuguese translation of the word East Timor. So just a bit about our local office. 450 SDA members, woohoo. Small island, small church, small membership. There are 1.4 million in the population, so there's quite a bit of people still to reach as far as our church goes. 55% of the population lives on less than 80 cents US a day. And it's a 95% Catholic country. Okay, so just to give you a bit of background about ADRA Timor-Leste, I'll show you in a bit where ADRA Timor-Leste is. Is Alexandra here? Has anyone been to Timor-Leste? No, Alexandra has. She's outside. She just came recently. Have you heard of Timor-Leste, ADRA? East Timor, Timor-Leste? Okay, good. Most Australians know of East Timor a lot quicker than Americans do, that's for sure. I'll show you a map of where we are. We're just east of Indonesia. I'll show you that a bit later. Some people say it's not hard to double zero. So we have doubled our budget already. We started with zero. It's a new implementing office. We just started, opened, I think we got our papers in 2011. Our first implementing year was 2012 with 4 partners, and our budget was $200,000. Our second implementing year this year, we have now 6 partners, $350,000. So we thank our partners. We have ADRA Australia, ADRA International, ADRA Portugal, as well as ANZ Bank and the New Zealand Embassy locally in Timor. I'm forgetting one. That's 5. I'll think about that. And our staff is 4.17. Gentleman the other day said 1.5, and his wife is the 0.5. Well, we have 4.17, and I'm the 0.17. And it seems bizarre, but it's because I do have a 0.5 budget through the GC as a spouse of an IDE, but I also homeschool my children, and that's a 33% budget. So what's left comes to about an hour and a half a day. So that's the 1.7, okay? So our office has implemented a website. Not all of you are lucky enough to have a wife who happens to be a web designer, as our country director does, but we implemented a website that I designed. Of course, I did it for free for our office as part of my job of being communication director. Also, I've been doing finance, but I'm about to let that part go finally. This is the website we designed. Just want to show you a quick little tour of it before we start talking about it. You have your splash page, as Krista was talking about. This is, well, we'll talk more about it later. I'll just show you a bit of the pages. We have some information, of course, general about ADRA, like all offices do. We have our news feed, which is basically what you would call a blog. It's what we post. Our most common postings are about water and health right now. And you can filter by clicking on these links. By the health link, it shows you just the news that is health related, or by clicking on water and sanitation, just the news that is WASH. We have a bit of video feed. We have our YouTube channel that has all, 3 videos we've produced. Thank you, ADRA Australia, who has partnered with us, provided us video camera and a training session about a year and a half ago, taught us how to video edit. That was extremely helpful. I didn't know a thing about that before. We've been able to produce 3 videos because of that, and plus there's one there from ADRA International as well. We have a link here. It says Facebook, but it's actually embedded Facebook into our website. So if you're logged into your Facebook account, you automatically see there whether you've liked it or not, and you automatically see which of your friends has liked it or not, which is kind of interesting. That's if you're logged in. If you're not logged in, you're not going to see your friends listed right off. But it gives people an opportunity to like our page directly from this without actually having to go to Facebook, which is quite nice. What I like about the Facebook component is, although I'm the communications person, our country director uploads so often and so easily because it's just so easy. And I love that it shows up on our website when he does it straight to Facebook. We have our subscribe link. I just want to mention this, even though we're not using it fully yet. We use MailChimp, which is good for implementing offices. You can have a mailing list of up to 2,000 subscribers sending, Luis was calculating with me, I think it was up to 6 mailings a month for the free account. Okay. Beyond that, you start paying a certain subscription, you know, or whatever. But for us, it's great. We've just used it for sending out like Christmas, you know, greetings and that. Basically, as individuals working for this office, we've kind of brought in our personal contacts into this. They get the first message. Of course, they have the option at the bottom, and this is what makes it different from just forwarding to your email list, is that there is the unsubscribe link, and that's what makes you not spam. When you have the unsubscribe link, which MailChimp provides, it's an opt-in system. They can click unsubscribe at the bottom, and therefore it's not listed as spam. So MailChimp's, oh, there it is, MailChimp.com. Really, really useful, and we hope to use it more and more as we start our newsletter system and that. You see the help button here. If you've seen the yes at the top, are you curious to know what that says? It's just our little call to action. Yes, you can help. If you click on it, it takes you to the same page as the help link does, asking for donations. Some people in APLI, we were talking about online donations and how you can manage that. If you have a bank in your country that can accept online deposits, great. That's awesome. In Timor-Leste, we don't. So we're just doing our online donations through PayPal. So as individuals from the United States, I have a PayPal account, so I'm able to accept the money into that. I've opened a finance.adra.tl email address, and it comes in through that. And then I just hand over the currency, which we're actually on US dollars in Timor-Leste as well, so it's real easy for us, even with the exchange rate. Now, people don't have to have a PayPal account to donate through PayPal. A lot of people don't know that, so I have just this screen right here with this big red arrow. If they click on this right here, it says, I don't have a PayPal account. Now, it'll try and encourage you at the end. Oh, do you want to save all this data and create a PayPal account? But you can always say no and just use your credit card. So we have received donations online. It's been nice, mostly from people that already know us and have a connection with what we're doing and believe in what we're doing. And then, of course, we have our contacts page. And I'm going to show you this just so I can give you an idea so you can leave here knowing where Timor-Leste is. Here's the map. Let me zoom out just a bit there. There you go. So there we are, just northwest of Australia, just east of Indonesia. And I'll just zoom right in. We're not even a whole island. We're half an island. The other half of the island, the western part, is still part of Indonesia. East Timor has been independent for 10 years, so it's a relatively new country. 10 years of independence was just celebrated in October. And of course, you can actually pinpoint our office and find us if you come to visit in East Timor. We'd love to have you visit with us. All right. So you've seen our website here. You have seen how it looks for the general public. I'm now going to show you how it looks when we log in, because we're using WordPress. And I'm like I said before, I'm a web designer as well. So what I do for ADRA, it's just nice. It's convenient that I'm a web designer. It's convenient for my office. Not everybody has that option, and that's okay. We're going to show you today some things that personally, through my business, I can provide for you so that you can have this same kind of flexibility. Like Krista was speaking about earlier, having a content management system that you yourself or someone in your office can just go in and edit a page or change a photo or whatever you need to do. I think that's the saddest thing in the world, when you're locked in with a website and you just can't change it. And some of our offices, we were talking last week, Liberia, they have a website, but they have no access to it, even to ask and pay someone to do it. They just literally lost the access to it when there was shifting of people. So we want to get you out of that. We want you to manage it on your own. So WordPress is what we use. As a designer, it's what I love. Most of my clients, I recommend WordPress because, like Krista was talking about, you have a template. Well, actually, I think that was an APLI. Sorry, I think I'm mixing. You have a template that you can use. It's the look you want, but then you can go in and add and manage your own content. So here's our WordPress login for ADRA TL. I've already stuck in my password. Just to mention here, when it said the login, just because it just happened 2 weeks ago, you've maybe heard of other platforms, other CMS besides WordPress. There's Joomla, there's other ones as well. I'm not sure if anyone else is using anything big, but Joomla's had a lot of attacks from spammers, and it was always WordPress. Oh yes, we haven't had that issue. But actually, 2 weeks ago, it happened. It was while I was traveling. I was like, what? I've got like at least 30 clients using WordPress sites. I had to, what is this exactly? And what it was is that the admin name, the login name, was left as admin, which is the default for WordPress. And anyway, just a side note, if you are already using WordPress, you need to change your admin name to something else. Ours is ADRA TL, because if you just leave it as admin, the default, it's easier for hackers to get in. All right, so here I am logged into the back end of my website. And when I am logged in, what's nice is when I'm on a page, I'll just click back to the About page. When I'm on a page, I have an extra bar across the top. There it is. So if I'm on the About page and we decide that, oh, I misspelt something on this page or whatever, you can just simply click the Edit page at the top, and it takes you into the back end where you can then edit your text or change a picture if you want, okay? And this main picture you saw on the front page, this slider on the splash page, you can also change those as well. What I have it set up on my site is that it automatically pulls in a picture from an article. So whatever articles are up, you can check mark this little box that says send it to the slider or not, okay? So that's just a little overview of our website. Now I'm going to just get into my actual presentation, which is why I think every ADRA office needs a website. And most of you have websites. There are a few. We realized even last week that don't yet. But I just added in, needs a good and updatable website, okay? Because if you are stuck with something that you can't even add post to or change a picture, it's unfortunate. So this is maybe something you need to follow still, even if you already have a website, okay? So just consider the things we're going through. All right, so why do you need a website if ADRA.org is already there? ADRA International already has a website. Don't they already represent us? Well, they do. They do represent us, and you can link to that as a website if you don't currently have one. But is your office showcased on this website? Not necessarily. Our office is slightly. We're in the gift catalog. We're also yeah, that's about it. Because there's the clickable map, which I was hoping to find Timor-Leste on, but it's like we don't exist. It's just Indonesia, unfortunately. We're not clickable. So it doesn't represent us. You might have a regional website like the ADRA Asia website, which you'll notice looks familiar, and that's because it's built on the same template that we're using in our office. Does it represent you? There, you might find your country office listed, even the contact information of your office. All of ADRA Asia is listed there, your phone numbers, your emails, everything. But it still doesn't represent your office and what you are doing, specifically the activities you are doing. And that's why every office needs a website. Just in the development of this, you might be curious which came first, the chicken or the egg. Well, the egg did. Our office provided a template, and ADRA Asia saw it and thought it was a good idea, and they'd like to make it available to other offices as well. So we'll talk about that a bit later. All right, so there's 4 steps to finally getting it done, in my opinion. So we're just going to start with the domain name. Krista talked a bit about this already. Get a domain name and start using it for your email, even if you're not already. And if you have a domain name, an ADRA name, and you're not using it, and you're still sending from Gmail and Yahoo, then please pay attention. Don't. It looks unprofessional. When you get emails that say, whoever your name is at Yahoo, even if it's ADRA Timor-Leste at Yahoo, it's just not professional. It costs $11 a year to get a domain name. You can get one, okay? Even if you can't build the website yet, get the domain name. I'm not saying don't use Gmail. I use Gmail. I use it as an interface from which I gather all my emails. I gather my ADRA emails, my SabotSites.com emails, my personal emails, all inside of Gmail, but I send from the address that I want to send from. People don't even know my Gmail address. I don't even give it out. So basically, as far as domains go, domain names, there's 3 kind of groupings. And we'll just look at them. I'm not saying one's better than the other. I prefer the first one, which is a country-specific, like ADRA.TL, Timor-Leste, ADRA.ca for Canada, ADRA.eu for European Union. I prefer that because, without any effort whatsoever, you're ranking higher in Google when people search the word ADRA, because it's part of your main name, okay? But there's also, and just one more thing on that. For the pricing on this, it's really going to vary. You know, when I was in Senegal, the price of a domain name was about $160 a year. And it's because the country-specific domains are owned by the country. And in some cases, they're given out by the local university or the local media, what's it called in our country, Ministry of Communication. So it depends how much they're going to charge. In Senegal, they were charging like, you know, like I said, over $100 a year. In Timor-Leste, they give it free to NGOs. So we have our ADRA.tl for free. We don't pay anything for it, okay? The .org domain is a good option. This is the one that's $11 a year guaranteed. It's cheap, so why not? You have ADRANiger.org, ADRAAsia.org as examples of that. And then the third option is the country-specific.org, for lack of a better word, which is you're having a .org, but it's still purchased within country. So ADRA.org.au, ADRA.org.do, that's Dominican. Okay? So those ones, again, are going to vary per country. The .org, country specific, you'll have to check within your country how much that costs, or maybe you can get them free as well in your countries. You can just check. Yeah, okay, so Facebook. Use Facebook because it's free. Why not? Just some notes, because there are two other people presenting about Facebook. I just have a few things to say. Create a page, like Krista was talking about, not a personal profile, okay? If you're really not using Facebook personally and you have no access to even get in there to create a page, okay, fine, create a personal profile, but don't use that. Don't add friends as an organization. That's not what it's made for. When you sign up for Facebook, you actually checkmark a thing saying you're an individual. So, you know, it's against their terms of agreement, really. So as an administrator, a page administrator, as a web designer, as your communications officer, or whoever it is, you can create a page for an organization. It'll ask you different steps to get in. Are you this? Are you that? And you answer those questions. But when it's done, you're the admin, and then you can add other people that are admin. Yes, it's true, you have to friend the person first and then add them as an admin. I've done it for many, many clients. I friend them and then I add them as the admin, and eventually once they've taken off with their Facebook page, I remove myself as admin, and then it's theirs. It's no longer even listed under my Facebook page. But just remember, you're creating a page for your organization, not a profile. When you post, it gets tricky, because when you post in Facebook, you need to be post as admin, is what I'm saying. Basically, in the top corner, once you have a page, you have an option, and there's a drop down, and you see your page icons. So go back to the icon of the page that you're aiming for and post as admin. It looks a little bit more professional when ADRA Timor-Leste is presenting what they've done, rather than Luc Sabot or Anita Sabot is doing it. And like Krista said, it's keeping things separate. Of course, after posting as admin, I always go to my personal profile and share it from there. And then it also drives people back to the ADRA Timor-Leste Facebook page. So just quickly, the main goal, we'll say, for Facebook is to get likes on your page. That's the main goal, because you're trying to get people to know who you are. You want them to like your Facebook page, not just photos inside it, because once they like your Facebook page, what happens? Do you realize what happens when they like your page? What's the benefit? Does anybody know? They automatically see your feed. Yeah, once they've liked you, then there you are. Every time you post in their feed, or hopefully, you know, it depends how often they check their Facebook page. But there you are in their feed, and it gives them an opportunity to interact with you. I would say maybe the ultimate goal is for them to share your content, because then that content that they just click that share button, oh, that's just so great, I just love that picture, wow, so inspiring, and share that maybe on their timeline, then all their friends now see it on their feeds, and just gave you a broader audience. All right, so we'll just talk a bit about hosting. Just so you understand, there's two things you need to have the information for your website in order to manage it yourself. And that's the information for your domain name. So somewhere, someone has registered that information with a registrar. Okay? Some hosting companies also do the domain registration, so that's helpful. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. So maybe you log in at one place, maybe you have two different logins, but you need to have your domain registration info, because once you have a new website, or once you change your website, you want to be able to redirect that back to your Stress. 5 minutes. And you need to be able to redirect that back to where your website is actually being held. So what is a website hosting? What is this? What does it mean? I tell people it's like renting a condo in a building, okay? Some organizations might be big enough they actually want to own the whole building and host their website on their own server. But most people don't need that, okay? So what a hosting company does is they have the whole building, they have the server, and then they rent you a condo, a place for you to put your website. Your website needs to be on the internet somewhere. It's not just actually floating. So you need to have a hosting package with a company. Most of the time, these prices are between $29 or $189. Those are the prices on my website, so that's what I'm giving you. But you can search around and see what you can get, possibly in country. Developing countries tend to charge more because it's still an untapped market. But the price that you're going to pay is going to depend on the amount of space you need. In other words, how big is it going to be? How many? We use like. For example, YouTube for our videos, so they don't actually go onto our website, so it kind of keeps the space needed a little smaller. And of course, how many email accounts you want. Just a glance at my website, if you need hosting, you can look there and compare packages, okay? Creating a website, I'm not going to say too much about it other than at least get something up, even if it's just a business card page, that's just a one-pager that has an ADRA look and says how to contact you, at least. Ideally, several pages with frequent updates, even better. And what kind of information to include would be just what you would include in your annual report, all those kinds of things. Whatever's important enough for your annual report is probably important enough for your website to start. 3 things. A website's essential. What, how, and why. What you are doing, you need to show what you're doing locally, how you're doing it right, and of course, show how people should help you. Sorry, why people should help you. All right, so just some pricing. If you are interested in the template that ADRA Asia and I have developed, this is what you can do. If you need someone to actually implement it for you, actually get it up on the internet and put your content in it, then that would be a web designer. So I could do that. For implementing offices only, I just want to clarify. Normally my price is at least between $2,000 or $3,000, which is quite competitive. But for implementing offices only, which gives you the WordPress background CMS, where you can make your own in-house edits, which includes the Facebook integration like you saw, I'm willing to do that for $1,500 for implementing offices. If you're a supporting office, normally you pay my normal business rate between $2,000 or $3,000, but if you give me a sob story, we'll talk, okay? The ADRA Asia template, which is what we're calling it, can be used by a local designer. So in other words, if you have someone who maybe even in your local church knows how to use WordPress, then perhaps they could just take the template and implement it themselves. So for that, $400 if you don't want to have a link on the bottom back to the designer, but for $200, that's the cheapest option. They can put that up. It'll have a link that says Web Development by SabotSites.com, website template development, okay? And then if you ever need website maintenance and you have no one else to point to, I do that as well. So just to give you my price, it's $25 an hour, which is reasonable, I think. All right, so if there's any questions, we'll just take a few.
Yeah, hi. Look, I would just like to really thank you on behalf of the network for your generous offer. I mean, I've seen some of the work that you do great work, and your willingness to be able to share with us and to discount it, to commit and use your talent for the network. I just really want to thank you very much for that, and so I just encourage people to take advantage of it. It might seem, like you look at figures, but if you've ever been involved in this industry, when you see those figures, you realise what a great deal that Anita's doing for us. So thank you. There was just one little anecdotal story I was going to tell, and it sort of links into your talk, but I was going to tell it on the end of the other one. And that is, I got an interesting phone call a few years ago from BibleInfo.com. And at the time, Fred Harding, who was a friend of mine, was running BibleInfo.com. And apparently one of the staff had forgotten to renew their domain name. And what happens when you forget to renew your domain name? Then people buy it up in bundles. Yeah. And so BibleInfo.com was getting around 55,000 traffic every month, a lot of repeat traffic. It was a very popular site, and suddenly it was linked to pornography. So everyone who went to Bible Info was sent to porn sites because someone had forgotten to renew the domain name. So why I got involved is because they tracked back the person who had purchased that bundle of outdated domain names and the sites to Australia. So they asked me if I could intervene. I was given quite a significant budget to buy it back, but I was able to negotiate it back for nothing. And the person was happy to sign it back over. It wasn't their intent to actually use a Bible site for pornography, but we may not always be that lucky. So just a reminder when we're looking at websites and things like that to make sure that you keep your licensing current for those sites.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you. I think that the quality of the pages of Anita are very good and are very cheap, because if you want pages with this quality, you have to pay a lot of money with all the integrations. This is a good opportunity.